lose a child, it's just, there's no words for it. And then to lose my grandson too, there's no words for it.
Welcome to another episode of On the Record. I'm, of course, Cody Thomas, and today we're taking you inside a Florida courtroom in St. Lucie County where prosecutors say jealousy turned into murder.
August 23, 2018, a motorist driving down a rural road in St. Lucie County, Florida, makes a horrifying discovery: the body of 23-year-old Tanya Wise lying in a ditch. She was found face down in the weeds with one of her hands still clenched tight. She was also 8.5 months pregnant.
To lose a child, it's just, there's no words for it. And then to lose my grandson too, there's no words for it.
Tanya Wise was just weeks away from giving birth and was already scheduled for a cesarean section. A month after her body was found, police arrested 41-year-old Jose Soto-Escalera.
Today, the final piece of this very complex puzzle has been put in place.
According to court documents, Soto told police that he was married and had 4 children. He also admitted to knowing Tanya Wise, but said there was no chance that he was the father of her unborn baby. However, police were able to make a DNA match and determine that Jose Soto-Escalera was the father of the baby. Investigators say that Soto gave Wise $500 to have an abortion. Well, not only did she not have the abortion, she was threatening to tell his wife about the pregnancy. Jose Soto-Escalera is now charged with the first-degree murder of Tanya Wise and her unborn son, Josiah. If he is convicted, he could be sentenced to death.
The air in the courtroom is heavy. The prosecutors waste no time. The jury hears Jose's own words, quote, "I have to find a spot where I'm going to dump her. I'll burn the clothes. I have no other choice."
I have to find a spot where I'm going to dump her. I'll throw away all the clothes, or I'll burn them, or I'll wash them with Clorox. Those are the words from the defendant in this case on August 21st, 2018. He cannot let his wife know that he got another woman pregnant who's now 38 weeks. He's running out of time. She's getting ready to schedule a C-section. She's going to have this baby, and he cannot let that find out because he's going to lose everything. That's all he cares about. He cut her throat and bashed her head in, knowing that possibly it was his child, but he did it anyways. Because he had planned it out, and he said, "I have to do it, Eric. I have no other choice."
Now, the defense pushes back, pointing to Tanya's volatile relationships and other possible suspects.
Unfortunately, the profession that Miss Wise was in, a dancer and an escort, brought her into contact with many unsavory characters. And what you will learn in the days following the discovery of her body. Law enforcement got DNA samples from many men, not just my client. I'd ask that you use a discerning ear and eye during the course of this trial and listen to not only the evidence that you see and hear, but the evidence that you won't see and that you won't hear. And I have no doubt that at the close of the evidence, you'll have no other alternative but to find my client not guilty of both charges.
Detectives testify about interviewing Jose. He denies any contact with Tanya and insists there's no reason his DNA would be at the crime scene.
As a detective, you want to talk to people that may have information about the case.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Did the name Jose Soto-Escalera come up?
Yes, sir.
All right. And when that came up, did you request to conduct an interview with him at the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, we did.
Did you ever keep in touch with Tanya?
No, sir.
No?
The only time we talked was when her son came over our house.
Did you have any other involvement with Tanya?
No, sir.
So there would be no reason to find your DNA on her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have sex with her?
No.
Your daughter's murder, you were aware that she was dating Bradley Rodriguez Jr., correct?
Yeah, they kind of had some type of relationship.
Were you aware that Mr. Bradley Rodriguez Jr. had been threatening Tanya?
At one point, she had mentioned it to me.
Let me take you back to the summer of 2018 did you have a conversation with this defendant, Jose Soto-Escalera, about a gun, a firearm?
Yes.
What did he specifically say to you? Did he say that he wanted a ghost gun?
Correct.
Is that how he phrased it?
That's how he phrased it.
And what was your response to that?
My response to what he said was, I don't have anything to do with that. Like, all of my firearms are legal.
Day 2, the defense changes the spotlight. They name other men, ex-boyfriends, former lovers, men with criminal records. They want the jury to see a wider circle of possible suspects.
Bradley and Tanya lived at Tanya's mother's house.
Yes, ma'am, briefly.
Okay, and that Bradley was kicked out of Tanya's mother's house in March of 2018 because Bradley was violent with Tanya.
Yes.
And you learned that Bradley was possibly one of the fathers, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You also learned that there was another potential father of the baby by the name of Mark Burke, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you learned through the course of your investigation that Mark Burke actually had a turbulent relationship with Miss Wise, is that correct?
As I recall, yes, ma'am.
And that he had actually abused her and was arrested, correct?
I don't recall if he was arrested for abuse.
In the course of your investigation, you learned that Mark Burke had an active arrest warrant at the date of the murder for a fraud case, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that his co-defendant in that case was actually Tanya Wise?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that Miss Wise was afraid of him because of that case, is that correct?
Well, there had been people that had said that, but she had had numerous contacts with him after he had an active warrant, and she never turned him in and met with him on a regular basis, so I didn't know how afraid of him she was.
Okay, and when was the last time she had seen Mark Burke, to your knowledge?
I believe when I interviewed Mr. Burke, he said it was the week of her disappearance, and she had performed oral sex on him in his car.
But then, the science starts speaking. The state's DNA expert tells jurors the biological father of Tanya's unborn baby is Jose Soto-Escalera, the defendant, not any of the other men that were tested.
During the course of your investigation, you got a DNA sample from Bradley Rodriguez Jr., is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you got a sample of DNA from Giovanni Alvarado, correct?
I believe so, yes, ma'am.
And you got a DNA sample from Mark Burke, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you get a DNA sample from Jared Christie, too?
I don't recall.
Okay, you don't remember if you got that one?
No, ma'am.
Were you able to get a standard DNA profile for each of those individuals we just listed?
Yes, I was.
All right, and then did you do a comparison to the previously referenced standard of Josiah Wise, the baby, and the victim Tanya Wise, to see if any of those individuals could be the father of Josiah Wise?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and what were the results of that analysis?
So the DNA profiles from the child, baby Wise, and the mother, Tanya Wise, were compared with these alleged fathers, and these individuals are not consistent with having the DNA profile of that required to be the child's biological father. So the DNA profiles from the child, baby Wise, and the mother, Tanya Wise, were compared with that of the alleged father, Jose Soto-Escalera. The DNA profile from Jose Soto-Escalera is consistent with that required of the child's biological father.
And investigators reveal something else. Tanya's blood soaked deep into the carpet fibers of Jose Soto-Escalera's car, a silent witness to her violent end.
The carpet tested positive chemically, indicating the presence of blood. The DNA profile obtained from the carpet was consistent with being a mixture of a major and a minor component. The female DNA profile obtained from the major component of this mixture matches the DNA profile obtained from the blood standard from Tanya Wise at all 21 locations. No comparisons are possible to the minor component of the mixture profile due to insufficient DNA quantity and/or quality.
Now we're only 2 days in, the battle lines are drawn. Prosecutors are building a case of calculated murder to protect a secret. The defense is working to scatter doubt, pointing to every other name in Tanya's world. The jury has heard the words, seen the science, and the story is only beginning to unfold. And with that, of course, I'm Cody Thomas. Thanks for listening. Stay safe, stay informed, and join me next time we go back on the record.